The Balkans. When it comes to the Balkans, it is no secret that the region is famous for its ostentatious relations between its neighbors. No matter what country you point on the map, at least one country from the region is bound to hate it. Thus, with a region so jam-packed with history and lore, it might be a bit difficult for a feeble Western mind to understand why the people from village of Bumblefrick Nowhere hate the people of Wolf Nowhere. Thus, in an effort to make the world a worse place, I feel that it is my solemn duty to share our secrets in the hopes that you too, dear viewer, can engage in proper Balkan intellectualism of the highest order. So without further ado, let's begin. Now, the beef between Romania and Hungary is a bit one of the more milder ones out there, as it can basically be summed up as two kids on a playground screaming at each other saying that their dad can beat up the others.
Well, I bet my dad can beat up your dad.
Yeah, well, I bet that my dad can beat up your dad.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Yeah? Is that so?
Yeah.
Azt teherbe a román kurva anyádat, ne szórakozzál, neked ugat Sanyi báty.
Mostly the hatred comes from this piece of land, Transylvania, as essentially both countries argue continuously on who was there first, and then accuse the others of stealing their rightful clay and V-Bucks. Other than that, the beef also comes from several wars fought between the two countries. In the 19th century, many Romanians rose up in rebellion against Hungary during the Hungarians' freedom fight against the Habsburgs in their revolution. Later on in the 20th century, during World War I, Romania invaded Hungary in several occasions, trying to take Transylvania, which they did with the Treaty of Trianon, as someone in the comments is writing a 7-page essay about it.
Mint mond önnek az a szó, hogy Trianon?
Ó, nem tudom.
And when Hungary tried to invade them to take it back, the Romanians marched their way all the way to Budapest and filled their pockets with lovely knickknacks found in the city's National Museum, and took it all the way back to Romania. Besides that, both accused each other of oppression. The Romanians argued that the Hungarians were oppressing the Romanians in the Kingdom of Hungary, and the Hungarians argued that today Romania is oppressing the Hungarian diaspora within Romania, and mostly centered in Transylvania. After the 1920s, they haven't fought a single war against each other. Moreover, they were able to be in the same faction on two separate occasions. So, all in all, it's nothing to worry about, just a bit of banter. Now, if there exists a conflict in the world where no one cares or gives two about except for the two parties involved, then that would be the conflict between Macedonia and Bulgaria. Basically, it's as if two SJWs are constantly arguing with one another, accusing the other of cultural appropriation. Bulgarians claim that the North Macedonians are actually Bulgarians brainwashed by evil Serbs, hi by the way, who made them think that they are a different ethnicity and rebel against the glorious motherland of Bulgaria. While Macedonia denounces the idea completely and claims that they're their own separate people group who originated from the ancient Macedonians and intermingled with the local Slavs, and that they actually were the ones who then created Bulgaria and their culture. So you can kind of see what the problem is. Both argue over the ethnicity of famous historical figures such as revolutionary Goce Delchev and Clement of Ohrid, even though we all know they were clearly Hungarian.
Fütyülsz, bazd meg, és hazudsz.
Miért?
Mert egy szar szemét szaralak vagy.
Nevertheless, both claim them as their own. Bulgaria claims that they cannot be Macedonian, as practically before the 19th century no one in Macedonia called themselves Macedonian, but rather everybody thought of themselves as Bulgarian. However, Macedonia claims that it is simply fake news, and that they are Macedonian because they were born there.
Na bugarski napiše sjatna majkata.
i prevedeno na Hindu veli Makedonija. Majka na svijetu je Makedonija.
Then Bulgaria decides to block them on EU accession, and Macedonia decides to beat up Bulgarian tourists. And the cycle continues. But you know what will never block you from joining the EU? My merchandise. High quality material and designs that allow you to represent the love of your favorite countries. Go ahead and get one for yourself. Or hell, get all four for your entire family. So go ahead and hurry to the Ironic shop right now. Ironic shop on Ironic drip. When it comes to the conflict between Greece and Turkey, it is approximately the same conflict between any Balkan country and Turkey. Prior to the Turks coming to Anatolia, the Greeks existed as the powerful Byzantine Empire. However, after a couple of years of funny language-speaking horsemen riding through their empire, soon their country ceased to exist, and it got replaced by an Islamic empire run by the same funny language-speaking horsemen that rode through it a couple of years previously.
See what? This bitch!
Who then on went to oppress, assimilate, and displace the local Greeks for the next 500 years. After the Greeks were able to gain their independence once more, the two fought several wars within the 19th and 20th century, where they ethnically cleansed each other's populations by forcing them to take swimming lessons within the Aegean. In more recent times, the two have been fighting over the sea and who owns it. Greece controls most of the islands within the Aegean, and with that, most of the sea. However, Turkey would like to be able to swim and extract oil without having to pay Greece to do so. So now they're constantly at each other's throats, even though on paper they're basically allies as they're both members of NATO. You know what they say, brothers and sisters are natural enemies, like Croats and Serbs, or Bosniaks and Serbs, or Albanians and Serbs.
Macedonia, Shut up, Serbian bitch.
Or Serbs and Serbs. Goddamn Serbs, they ruined Serbia! Now, if there's a country in the Balkans that arguably has the most beef in it, then that would be Serbia. Now, to sum up most of the conflicts regarding Serbia, they and some people group that they were in a country with had a civil war, started using the Geneva Convention as toilet paper. However, Serbia starts getting explosive diarrhea while the other party had somewhat enough fiber in their stool. One thing leads to another, and suddenly everyone denies that they ever had the shits in the first place. Thus, the beef between the Serbs, Croats and Bosniaks can be summed up like that. When it comes to the conflict between the Serbs and Albanians, there is a little bit extra. Primarily, they fight over this place, Kosovo. And much like Hungary and Romania, they both argue that they were there first, and therefore they are the rightful owners of the place. The Albanians claimed that in ancient times, the ancient Illyrian kingdom of Dardania used to exist here, and as they are the descendants of the Illyrians, they are the rightful owners of Kosovo. Meanwhile, the Serbs argued that they were the first and that they built their medieval kingdom of Serbia from Kosovo, and they say that it cannot be the Albanians as they were not mentioned as a people group up until the 13th century. Throughout history, they also constantly had skirmishes against one another as they backed different sides in wars. The Albanians were usually backing the Ottomans, meanwhile the Serbs were usually backing the Habsburgs. In the 90s, much like the other republics, there was a war, people got displaced, Serbia bars Kosovo from joining the UN and other international organizations, and both sides are claiming that the other is oppressing their people, so, you know, just regular Balkan stuff. And yeah, those would be the major beefs between the Balkan countries. Of course, there are numerous other ones which are smaller in size, and if you like this video and would like to hear more about them, click that subscribe button and drop a like. And if you really enjoyed this video, maybe go on ahead to the Ironic shop and purchase yourself a nice shirt, or become a member like these lovely people. My name is Janusz, and you've watched Living Ironically in Europe.
Hey, hey, why are you